Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to have Ryan Ashby, the founder of Madali Group, a company dedicated to helping purpose-driven businesses streamline operations, simplify workflows, and thrive through tailored CRM solutions, process improvement, and personal development. With a focus on aligning business strategies with personal value, Madali Group empowers entrepreneurs to achieve sustainable growth while maintaining authenticity. Ryan, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me here.
I am excited to dive in. So, I always like to start from the beginning. Take us back to before you started the company. What were you doing at that time, and what was the inspiration and the motivation behind starting Madali Group?
Model E was definitely a work in progress. I was coming from a place of always wanting to empower underserved communities. And at the time I was working, I guess you'd call it in a corporate structure, realizing that I wasn't living aligned with myself and my authenticity. And always running into bottlenecks, wanting to create certain things, but it's not your company, it's not your vision. So you have your growth stifled. And I wanted to create different entities that are self-sustaining, that create a place that promotes learning and promotes being authentic in your energy. And so Model E was one of those creations that was birthed from it.
Okay, amazing. So, help us understand, what does Madali do for the people that don't know anything about your company? Who's your ICP? Who do you love to work with? And then what are the different offers and services that you guys provide?
We love to work with people that are purpose driven. Ideally, I work with people in the spiritual space, like healers, therapists, tarot readers. These people are very intuitively guided, and they're here to help guide others with truth. Oftentimes, they don't come from a place of having a business background. So, if you have a big email list, a CRM solution can help simplify that to create your weekly newsletters and automation. So, it takes less time out of their busy schedule so they could focus more on their creative power, which is helping guide others. And we wanted to take that away from them so they could focus on that while we back them. We're like the backstage crew to their show. That was like the inspiration. But with that, there's so many different nuances, right?
Yeah.
Are we improving their process? Are we managing their projects? Things like that. So the inspiration was blending modern age technology with old ancient wisdom of those that are intuitively guided.
Yeah, that's such an interesting niche. What inspired that pursuit? Why serve those folks in specifically?
Specifically because it is parallel to my journey. So I started my entrepreneurial journey about a year and a half ago. Little did I realize it was the catalyst for my own spiritual journey.
Mm,
And what I discovered along the way was I was living out of my alignment. I'm certified in quantum human design. It's one of these new modalities that people are very unaware of, even in the spiritual community. And what it is, it aligns me with my profile type. I'm what you call a manifester. Let me back up so there's clarity here. There's five energy profiles that every human fits into. Okay.
okay.
You can be a manifester, someone who initiates, projector, someone who sees the big picture, manifesting generator, someone who works because it lights them up, but also they get the ball rolling as an initiator.
Yeah.
There's the generators of the world that are the doers, and then there's the reflectors. The reflectors are people just reflect what they see back into
Mm,
society. So I'm saying all this because I lived the whole life being told like what to do to be a good boy, go to school, work hard, do all these things that were against my alignment. And through my own personal struggles of trying to find myself through religion, therapy, all these things, all of those questions I had my whole life were answered within 5 to 10 minutes of finding human design and realizing that I was living against my authority. So when you're not in flow, you create resistance, whether it's a visible block or invisible. A lot of
yeah.
times your subconscious programming prevents you from achieving things. And you wonder, why is this path not working for me? I see other people working hard. They go to school, they do all these things, but really they've been conditioned that way by society or through their parents. And so we're here to break that mold to help people be aligned with their energy because you'll be more in the flow state. It causes less resistance and that helps simplify the path to your purpose. And Madali, it's a Tagalog word for like simple, easy. And
Mm,
if you think about things, we overcomplicate things all the time. And so we
yeah,
wanted to help simplify processes and streamline your path to your
yeah.
purpose. And that's the whole idea behind Madali.
I love that. How does one determine which of those five they are? Is there like a test they can go to online or anything like that?
Yeah, there's different body charts you can go to. If you just go to like myhumandesign.com, you'll get a free reading. Ideally, you want to have your birth time. So you'll have your name, your birth location. And if you can have the birth time, like exact to the minute, usually on a long form birth certificate, that helps pinpoint your energy type.
Eh,
I'm integrating a body chart on Model E website, which will be up this week, so people can get a free reading themselves. And then
Yeah.
if they wanted to dive deeper into aligning their energy, then I could offer those
Yeah.
consultations.
Very cool. Yeah, you're speaking my language, man. I love this stuff a lot. I got into yoga at a very young age, and then that kind of inspired me to try to be more in tune with the world around me, with the internal world, and understanding how my thoughts, my emotions are direct or have a direct correlation to my physical reality. So the way that I feel inside, the expectations that I have of what the world is going to be, what it's going to give me, all these different things are a direct mirror to how I am.
Exactly.
I love this stuff a lot. And I don't know if you know a guy named Nero Knowledge, Nero Knowledge on YouTube. You would love him. He's recently found him and he talks about aligning yourself on all three planes of existence, mental, spiritual, physical, to your desired reality. And that attracts things in your life, manifests things in your life
Exactly.
that are in alignment with that. So I love that a lot.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing Nero's name. So I'm going to check them out today.
Yeah, definitely. Walk me through for the listeners. So we understand you work with people in the spiritual place, but ones that are intuitively guided, purpose driven. I saw on your website earlier that there's coaching, there's individual coaching, there's group coaching, there's bundled packages. Help us understand what are the different offerings that you guys provide in terms of the coaching specifically? And I guess what's the main ones? What do people typically go with? What does that look like?
Thank you for bringing that up. So, one of the things that I wanted to state on here for you founders is go ahead and start messy. My website, it's not as concise as it needs to be. And that's one of the things I'm going to update. But to answer your question, I just labeled it personal development as a general, as for the audience in general, because not everyone knows about quantum human design. So, under personal development, which I feel goes hand in hand with being an entrepreneur, we're going to have mindset through Mora. So, someone that's joining the program, she has a whole mindset mastery program that she developed over her career. Also going to offer quantum human design, those that want to get more deeper into the esoteric kind of
Yeah.
intuitive guidance. And three, there's also this other kind of life coaching that we're going to have, and they're going to be subsets of personal development, so people can gather what feels aligned to them. Because not everyone's going to resonate with quantum human design, just like not everyone will resonate with the mindset mastery. And so people can pick and choose how they want to go about it. Maybe they feel more inclined for the group coaching. That's something that we're expanding on. Right now, I just do more of the one-on-one coaching with the quantum human design. And that's typically with people that already have founded a business or in the process of founding it. So I kind of align their energy with what makes them tick and what lights them up and make sure that's aligned with their vision, because I'm not here to control someone's vision. I'm here to help guide and support. And at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's their show, and I want to help them with the tools and the resources that I would want like future generations to have that I didn't have, because a lot of these things weren't taught in school or even at work. You just have to pick it up as you
Sure.
experience them.
Yeah. So just for my clear understanding, there's a CRM and then there's the coaching. Is that fair to
Yeah.
say? Okay.
Yes.
Very cool. And then there's a project management workflows and all these different things. So,
Part of that though is gonna go to the wayside because I started building Model E when I was identifying with the old parts of self, trying to fix problems with project management and process improvement. But as Model E's developing and as I'm growing, I realized that's not really who I was trying to serve. That I'm really trying to serve people that are purpose driven and they don't really know what a CRM is. That's why I had to create a disclaimer like this is what it is. A lot of people don't know what project management is. Some of those things won't necessarily be there, although we can offer them. I don't want
yeah.
that to take away from the focus of really trying to help people understand their alignment.
Yeah. Do you find that you run into challenges from a marketing standpoint when it comes to the messaging of how to attract your avatar, your ideal client?
Absolutely. Marketing, digital marketing, all those things, social media, those are things I just stayed away from my whole
Yeah.
life without having clear guidance. It was listening to what other people's input was. And at the end of the day, all I had to do was listen to myself. And when I started listening to myself and instead of the opinions of everyone else around me, I started narrowing down my focus of what it is I'm really here to do, who I'm here to serve. And
Yeah.
that's going to eliminate most of the noise on the website.
Yeah. Walk me through, how do you currently generate leads? So for your company, what does that look like?
So for this company, it's weird. I just wherever I'm guided to go. My most recent lead is an environmental conservationist that I met at a birthday party.
Okay.
And he's someone who's got a wealth of knowledge and is sought after for what he brings to the table, but he has no online presence whatsoever.
Mm.
And so I was going to help build a website for him and package it. And then what I realized is I needed to learn more about his purpose. And so I started working with him out in the field. And that expanded my awareness in new places that I didn't think had places. It expanded my awareness in a way that helped me grow more intuitively with Madali,
Yeah.
realizing that I want to work more with people in their niche to understand their business model. And so therefore, I'm not really doing like a marketing plan. I'm just meeting people however I meet them and letting that guide me. So it's not really a strategy other than to just follow my intuition because I have some people lined up that we're getting ready to launch and do the things. But I also know for me to grow, I have to step outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And doing this interview with you is one of those ways. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a set number, like I'm trying to get 100 people or whatever. It's Model E is going to be what it is. I'm totally detached from any outcome. So if I only have two customers and then I have to shut the doors down forever, so be it. I'm just happy staying present, working with who I'm working with. And then as I start to develop and hone in on my service offering and who I'm really here to serve, then I can start thinking more like a marketing strategy. Because before I had all these big strategy plans and none of them were really working. I realized because it was someone else's strategy. Like this has been tested before. Like this company has done this, and this is how they were successful. Well, I'm not that company. So trying to
Mm.
find my own way through all of this has been part of the
Yeah.
journey. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know if that quite answers the question that you were asking,
A
but
little bit, a little bit. So it sounds like you're looking to hone in your service offering and really the details of what it is that you offer first, and then develop a marketing strategy.
yeah,
Is that fair to say? And then also
that's fair to say.
simultaneously, kind of whatever the universe throws at you, you'll pursue that.
It is because I feel like I put the cart before the horse with Model E. Because the thing I'm most passionate about is something I spend most of my time developing. Model E was created as something that I thought I had to do to be successful. Hey, look at me, mom. Here's a company that has these products. But as I starting to develop the thing that really lights me up, it really goes together hand in hand with Model E. And that
And
is
that's the
serve.
quantum human design coaching, or is that something else?
It's something else. But it's all everything's connected. And I know it sounds totally displaced. And I'm intentionally not telling you the bigger picture because I want these things to line up organically.
Can you give me a hint as to what that thing is that you truly enjoy?
It's a form of blending technology with going back to our ancestral roots. So I've always wanted to create this kind of ecosystem of self-sustaining entities that are all interconnected, but also interdependent. So they rely on each other, like through sociocracy, sharing resources for power and knowledge. Are you familiar with sociocracy?
Not really, no.
Sociocracy is a consent-based model. Okay, so in order for you to move forward with a new idea, everyone has to consent to it. And
Yeah.
that's the way Model E is created. I don't have employees, I have co-creators that consent to be here, to sacrifice their time to use the model to better themselves. So collectively, we're stronger. So through this model, I'm taking an approach where I'm wanting bringing people back to like our roots of sharing resources. But doing so, I have to use technology. Like I have to use AI. I got to use digital marketing in order to
Yeah.
create these learning environments that promote healing,
Yeah.
emotional intelligence. And that's part of the bigger picture. But in order to
Cool.
get there, I had to plant these other seeds because it's like a really big plan. It's not just one small company. It's much
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
plan that I'm trying to go after.
Is Madali a means to an end? or it's
It
gonna
is.
fund all of those different things in the future?
It was just intended to be a creation to let people know, hey, if you have this urge to start something, like you have this inner calling within you, go ahead and do it. Start messy. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about other people's thoughts,
Yeah.
because this doesn't define who I am. And for the longest time, I was playing small and hiding. And this is just my way of coming out. Like Madali is not the first LLC I've created. It's not. It's just the first one I've shared publicly because I'm starting to feel ready to share my story. And so that's what I want to help inspire others to do, is just to start. And then from there, you'll be
I love that.
guided to what's next.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. What are your top priorities? So if you when you think over the next 12 months, when you think about your goals, maybe revenue targets, performance targets. I know you said you're detached from the outcome, and I completely respect that. But when you think over the next 12 months, what are your top priorities for Madali? What does that look like?
My top priorities are to grow personally. And as I start to expand and open myself up to more, then I know Madali will as well. So I've been guided to work with a couple people that are what you can consider like influencers in like the YouTube space, where they have the audience and we're putting together a package to work with them for that. So that's what I'm guided to the next 6 to 12 months, is to create more of an awareness of myself and what I'm doing and who I'm working with. And I feel like that there will start to attract the type of people that we
Yeah,
really want to work with by having at least like that one face that could really speak to what it is we do.
got it. And is that going to be you, or is that going to be one of the YouTubers?
One of the YouTubers, but at the same time, I know I have to do things myself. For example, this podcast interview, I tried to start my own podcast because I feel like there's so many other interesting stories of founders I met along the way. It's,
Yeah.
you know what? You need to share your voice because you're authentic. You have something to offer that no one else has to offer, but then they also shy away. So, in order to stop telling people what to do, it's like I have to embody this version of my higher self to say, hey, look, I'm putting myself out there. Even though I'm in all my imperfections, it is what it is. I'm going to keep continuing to growing. And that's what I want for you, is to continue on your path and to not give in to fear. Don't let fear decide your fate.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I couldn't agree more. So I have this book with me at all times, basically at all times. The Way to Love by Anthony DeMello. Great
Oh,
book.
okay.
Highly recommend it. You'd love that. But what do you feel is the biggest challenge you're facing as a founder currently?
My own my own insecurities.
Mm,
Sometimes I'll have that little voice in my head. I'm not good enough. This isn't perfect. Then I have to sit there and really think, are these my thoughts? They're not, because I'm the observer of my thoughts. These thoughts come from outside influences, my conditioning, because we're all divine, multidimensional beings that are capable of doing anything. But if we put our own limitations in the way, then we're never going to achieve the growth that we envision. Because I can keep saying, oh, I need to fix my website before I go onto this podcast. But before I do that, I have to do this and this. So what that's doing is creating all these resistances and all these blockages. So for me, it's removing those. And that's I got off on a tangent. I'm sorry, I forgot like what
no,
you
no, it's all good. I was asking the biggest challenge, and you mentioned insecurities and removing those
yeah, because it's
limitations that are self-imposed.
at the end of the day, you're only competing with yourself, right? If you want to sit there and try to compete with Apple or these big name players, they've been doing it for a far longer time. They've got their own way. So it's just a matter of being aligned with yourself and competing with yourself and being happy with what you put forth. Everyone defines success differently. And so I would ask, how do you define success? And if that's just giving your all in whatever it is you do that day, then be happy with that. Just be happy and grateful for what you're doing, and everything else is going to fall into place
How do you define success?
by showing up for myself, by staying within alignment, by saying no to things that are not good for me, eliminating distractions. And if I'm doing things that create joy in my life and peace, then that's all I need to be successful.
I love that. That's beautiful. What do you feel like you want help with. And the reason that I ask this is because we have a lot of people that listen to this that offer various different types of services. And maybe they're just interested in quantum human design and they want to lend a helping hand in some way to help grow your company. So, what do you think that thing that you're looking for is right now?
What I'm looking for is my soul tribe. It's people that are aligned on my frequency, that just want to be in this kind of co-creation collaborative space where we want to raise the conscious awareness to a global scale, but to do so in a way that's not commercialized and not all these things. We want to do it in a way that's authentic and that's really aligned with individuals, because at the end of the day, your truth is something that you've developed and found, which could be slightly different than mine. And I'm not here to say one way is right over the other. I'm here to just be a guide to help you find your truth. So that would be my biggest help, is someone who wants to co-create with me
Yeah.
and go from there. So that's what I'd say by calling in my soul tribe, because to this day, I haven't found them. And I'm hoping that this is the start by sharing my voice, and hopefully I'll attract those that are like-minded.
I love that. I love that a lot. What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
They can reach out through the website or just hit me up directly. Website URL is going to be updated slightly, so it's madalillc.com. Feel free to email me at ryan@madalillc or info at or LinkedIn, and any of these socials, any way they feel called to reach out.
Awesome. I love it. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. A big thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your journey, sharing your insights, and making the time today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. For our listeners, if you're inspired by today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're looking to scale your business and enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.